What's going on, Tiger fans? So we got some stuff to get to in this video. This past series with the Angels was absolutely fucking horrific. If it could go wrong, it could go wrong this series. Whether it was bad defensive blunders, uh, no breaks going the Tigers' way. The offense was just pitiful. Awful pitching performances out of some guys. It was just absolutely fucking horrific this past series with the Angels. Now, like I said in my Mariners video, my previous video, I think that those late games, because the Tigers have played a couple 13, 14 inning games in the last week or so, have really stifled the bats a bit. Now, one thing I want to get into with the offense-wise, the offense with runners in last week, with runners in scoring position, have only hit .096. It's been that bad. The Tigers' offense, going on to the West Coast, was ranked at like top 5 in nearly everything. They were first in batting average, close to the top at OBP, close to the top in slugging percentage. And in the last few weeks, over the last week, I should say, really hurt them with how bad they've been hitting. Now, one thing I want to get into before we talk about the series. Quit panicking about being 18 games in and the offense looking like shit. It's not the same thing as last year. Yes, I know they got out to a similar start. They were 4 games over 500. I think they were like 9-5, 8-5, somewhere in there. And then, they lost the 3 straight or 4 straight. And people are just panicking about nothing. You listen to the radio, people go, "Oh my God, the offense has been bad. They're playing Don Kelly or Ramon Santiago. The bullpen's been awful. Panic." No. You're 20 games in. You don't play at one level for a whole 162 games, 6 months. You are going to go through lulls, and you're going to go through dry spells of bad baseball, and it just happens. If you honestly expected Torrey Hunter and Austin Jackson to lead the league in hits, have 25 more hits in another 2 weeks, again like they did, you're dreaming. It's not going to happen. Like, look at Prince Fielder. He went in, he destroyed Oakland, went to Seattle, quiet. And even though he did have a 3-run homer this series, or 2-run homer in the Angels series. Miguel Cabrera's bat's been a bit quieter. It just happens. And for people to sit here and panic like we're in September, I said this at the start of the year when we played the Twins. There's no reason. And for people to sit there and say, fire Lloyd McClendon, fire Jim Leyland, no, there's no reason for this. People think, like, especially with the hitting coach, this drives me nuts, that they're going to go, all right, we're firing Lloyd. We're going to fire Lloyd McClendon. It's okay when the Tigers' offense, just a week ago was one of the best in baseball. Then he's an okay hitting coach. But no, now that the offense has been bad, nope, fire him. It's like people go, man, we're going to fire Lloyd McClendon. All of a sudden, the bats, boom, everything's good again because they fired the fucking hitting coach. It doesn't make sense. Now, let me get into the series. Game 1, Rick Porcello pitched like absolute dog shit. Or no, Game 2, I should say. Game 1, Anibal Sanchez came out and pitched well, and it was a close game. Well, Octavio Dotel comes on, and he gets absolutely ass-raped. There's the series, there's the Game 1 recap. Game 2 recap. Rick Porcello pitched fucking awful. He was awful. 9 fucking runs in the first inning. Borges had 2 little cheap-ass infield singles, because Johnny No Range Peralta can't field a grounder in front of him. And then Mike Trout hits a fucking grand slam off Porcello. I mean, Porcello has looked awful. Awful. He has had yet to have a really outstanding start like he did in spring. In spring, he had an ERA of 3, didn't walk a single hitter, and he was striking out guys left and right. All of a sudden, he don't know how to throw his curveball anymore, because in spring, he was throwing that curveball for strikes. It was a legit pitch. It had a good break. Look at Jason, I think it was Jason Donaldson, what he did to him in Oakland. He buckled his knees on it. He stopped throwing that. His sinker was flat that day. I mean, he did have a lot of bloopers on him, but still. Guess who the last Tiger pitcher was to give up that many runs in the first inning of a ball game? It was fucking Porcello last year against the Rangers. If they do not switch Porcello and Smiley's roles, because Smiley came out and pitched 7 fucking superb innings after Porcello got lit up. Quieted that offense down completely. If Porcello comes out, because I'm going to the game Friday and he's pitching, if he comes out and lays another egg, it's about time that they switch those guys up in the bullpen. And I said this at the start of last year, or no, middle of last year, they need to trade Rick Porcello. They need to. I know I made that video and I jumped back on his bandwagon, but I'm off it. I wrote an article in August of last year, saying it's time to cut ties with this kid. He just does not pitch good. The defense isn't good enough for him, and it's not even the defense's fault anymore. No, he has to pitch. And then you get these Tiger fans that set the sky-high value, like Rick Porcello's 24, and he's still young yet, and he's got a lot of ceiling. Okay, here's the problem. I don't care if you're 25 or fucking 137 million years old. There's a time where you gotta fucking step up and pitch. And he has yet to do it. This is going on his 4th straight year of being ass. His career whip is nearly 1.5. He has one of the lowest strikeout ratios on the staff. He led the league in hits last year. He's always up in the top 5 every year. His ground ball double play rate is just plummeted since his rookie year. He don't get as many double plays as he used to, because that's what he was good at. There's just a time where you can't use this he's young anymore, because eventually he's not going to be young. He's going to be 31, 32 years old, and he's still going to be pitching that has a track record of pitching like shit. There's a time where you can't use that he's young no more, and you got to step up and pitch. You can't just keep saying he's young, he's going to come around. No, there's a time where he has to show he can pitch, and he hasn't shown it. He's been awful. I said trade him for J.J. Hardy. I said trade him to the Diamondbacks and try to get something out of that. I said that. Because he's not worth keeping around. But people always throw that he's young bullshit out at you, and he's going to come around, and he's worth more than a J.J. Hardy, a guy that won a Gold Glove and has more pop in his bat than Peralta. I don't care that he hits the same amount of average as Peralta. They're both 255, 260 hitters. I don't care. Hardy's going to hit you 255, 260, but also hit out 21 homers and drive in 75, but also he's got range. He's got plenty of range at short. You're trying to tell me Rick Porcello, and Rick Porcello hadn't pitched good since 09 coming into this year. He hadn't done shit. You're telling me a guy that had that track record coming into this season, his whip as high as it was, his strikeout rate as low as it was, the way he's struggling against left-handers, how high his ERA's been since 09. You're trying to tell me fucking Rick Porcello wasn't worth J.J. Hardy because he's 24, was 24? That's a bunch of bullshit, and they should have traded him like I fucking said they should have last year. He's not worth it, and they overvalued him. And if you called out against it and said the Tigers should have traded Porcello, nope, blasphemy. He's death. He provides you an extra spot in the rotation. You can pitch in the bullpen. You can only be depth for so long. Okay, I don't care if he's a depth pitcher. You got to be able to fucking pitch me to be able to be considered depth. Because all he is right now is a fucking waste of a roster spot in the rotation. He's been awful since 09, and he has a 1-2 good month stretch, and then he's just shit the rest of the year. So where the fuck was this value that these people were seeing to say he's not worth a J.J. Hardy or he's not worth a closer? There's a reason why the fucking Padres didn't trade us Luke Gregerson or Houston Street, because they know even at Petco he's gonna fucking suck ass and he's not worth even Houston Street. A guy who hasn't been really, he's a decent closer at best. They wouldn't trade him for Porcello because they know Porcello don't have a legit out pitch. He can't get a major league lineup out more than once. His whip is sky high. He gives up hits more than anyone in baseball. He's just not worth it. And for these Tiger fans to place fucking Rick Porcello up on this pedestal and say he wasn't worth the J.J. Hardy or Gregerson or a fucking Houston Street, you're full of shit. And I'm telling you right now, I said last year they should have traded him. And now every time he goes out there, he's just hurting his value because he pitches like shit one more year. Okay, he's 25 and he's stuck up. No, fuck you. That's almost, he's over. He's going to be halfway over to fucking 30 already. He's going to be 26 next year. So what are you going to say then? No, they should have traded him and pitched like shit. It's going on 4 years, and I'm fucking sick of seeing him pitch. And they need to put Smiley in there. Like I fucking said in spring, even though I did make that video saying they should have made keep Porcello as a fifth starter because he was looking good. No, he sucks. I'm done with him. I'm fucking done with him. So last game of the series, Dougie Fresh went out there, pitched to Jem, and Tigers lost in 13 innings. Nothing you could do about that. It wasn't really Fulcock's fault. The bullpen pitched really good that game. And just gave up the walk-off home run to Trumbo in the 13th. There's nothing you can't get pissed at Coke. The bullpen itself, the bullpen has really looked a lot better. You minus Dotel's shitty outing, the bullpen's looked really good since Seattle. The walks have gone down. Especially Al Albuquerque, he's looked really nasty. Benoit looked pretty good when he was out there against the Angels. So, yeah. And we go up to Kansas City, or the Kansas City Royals come home to us today at Comerica Park. Max Scherzer goes up against Wade Davis. Wade Davis has been pitching pretty good for the Royals. The Royals have been a pretty good squad so far. I'm excited to see them. I really like a lot of their players. Mike Moustakas, Frank Hoare, Hosmer. I really like what they've done with that team. I think they got one of the best young bullpens in baseball. They got one of the best young offensive cores in baseball. They play defense really well. Salvi Perez, Escobar, all of those guys. They got a good little squad there. And then game 2 is JV versus Luis Mendoza. And then game 3 is Anibal Sanchez against complete game James Shields. And that'll do it. And then the Braves come in, and I'm going to the first game against the Braves on Friday, the 26th. So it should be pretty fun. So that's all I got for you guys today. I know that Porcello rant went on quite a bit for a little while, a lot longer than I thought to, but yeah. So hopefully the offense, man, just they play better at home, and they need to get some timely hits, runners in scoring position. And V-Mart needs to get it going. I feel bad for the guy. He keeps getting he's hit the ball hard so many times. He just keeps getting jobbed. He left the base. He's left the bases loaded so many times this year. Once he gets hot, stuff like that won't happen. And runners in scoring position average will go up as well as hitting with bases loaded once V-Mart gets a bit more hotter, because he's only hitting like 140, 150 something right now. He's not doing that great. But he's a career 300 hitter. He'll get it going. And, this is what they need. They need a homestand. They need to get the bats going. Need to get the timely hits. They need to get a couple more wins back in them. Get the adrenaline flowing again. Get the good feeling back. And I think they'll be fine. Nothing to worry about. So that's all I got for you guys today. Have a good one. Go Tigers.